Leadoptik, we are a medical device startup. So I'm Reza Khorasani, the CEO of Leadoptik. Basically, what we do is we leveraging an optical technology called metasurfaces. Basically, we can shrink optics 1,000 times smaller than conventional optics. We can go some places, especially in the body, that other technology cannot go. For the first problem, like any other startup, we need to be focused. Our main focus is for lung cancer diagnosis. If you look at the status quo, if they do manual bronchoscopy, the problem is the biopsy error is around 44%. You will hear a lot about the robotic system that solved the problem, but believe me, I have been in a lot of OR room with the best robot in the place. They still couldn't do a high accuracy biopsy. Our solution is we can make optics really small. We can integrate the optics and the needle, so we know where they're taking the sample, so we can increase the accuracy of the biopsy. Our team, as of today, we are 12 people, 10 full-time. My background is in an optics engineer. My co-founder background is in medical imaging. Our business model is a razor blade model. Basically, we have a disposable image-guided biopsy needle plug into an imaging console. But like any other imaging biopsy, it needs to be disposable because you cannot share it between different patients. So far, we have raised $7 million. We just closed our seed round a couple of months back. We have done our feasibility study both on human cadaver, but animal, both live and cadaver. We submit 3 patents. Next year would be an exciting year for us. So we are going to submit to FDA and start commercializing this technology. So a little bit more about technology. Basically, lung cancer biopsy have 3 major steps. First step is CT scan. It's a screening step to see whether there is any nodule. Most of the adults have a nodule in their lung. Doesn't mean they have cancer. Depend on the risk factor. They will do bronchoscopy. And that's where the middle one, that's basically where the battle of robot is happening. So of Intuitive, RS of Johnson & Johnson build the entire hardware and software system to navigate through the maze of the lung, get close to the nodule. That's where the problem is, and that's where we think we can solve the problem. So we are in the last centimeter delivery. Right before taking the sample, we will increase the accuracy of the biopsy. Most of the world do manual biopsy. Only in the US they do bronchoscopy through the robot. 10% of the market is done robot. Still 90% is manual bronchoscopy. And the error is 44% and did not change during the last decade. There is a robotic system that can increase this accuracy, but they still rely on other technology. Like if you do ion system, you still rely on cone beam CT for last centimeter delivery to make sure you take the sample from correct place. So what we do is normally they put the ultrasound in, find the nodule. There is not enough room in the lung. They need to take the ultrasound out, put the needle. Basically, they do blind biopsy. What we do is we can integrate optics with the needle, and we do not change anything in the procedure of the lung biopsy. Basically, exactly the same way that other people do. Put the bronchoscope in, leveraging the working channel of bronchoscope, put the needle in. Our needle in terms of shape, size is very, very similar to what other people does. The only difference is we can integrate the optics inside of the needle. So we will have a real-time image guidance to take the sample. And we aim to increase the accuracy of the biopsy above 90%. And how we achieve it is we call it metasurface technology. Basically, we combine advanced optical design and nanofabrication. So we can shrink optics thousands of times. So our optics is around 1 micrometer thick. So that allows us to shrink the optics. And because we're using nanotechnology, we have millions of nanostructure. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have a lot of degree of freedom to design this to be able to do imaging in different locations of the lung. This is an animal study we have done to show that with 1 probe, we can do image in different airway diameter. Here, airway diameter is 1.5 millimeter all the way to 6 millimeter. We can get with the resolution of 20 micron. To put it in perspective, compared to ultrasound, is almost 50x better in terms of resolution. Because our resolution is high and our sensitivity to lung cancer is very high, so based on literature in 95% sensitivity, we can differentiate between healthy tissue and cancer tissue. Image on the top is what we have captured using our imaging system. image on the bottom is through the pathology. Basically, pathology is gold standard. They resect the lung, slice it, send it to the lab, stain it, put it under the microscope. This is healthy tissue. It looks like a network-like a structure. Basically, it's an alveoli or parenchyma, we can call it. And we can resolve similar feature using our imaging system. The part of tissue become cancerous, become homogeneous, and we can resolve it in our imaging system in good agreement with pathology. The catch here is for pathology, you need to resect the lung, send it to the lab. It takes 2 or 3 days. There is another system called ROSE system, which means they bring the pathologists into their OR room, but it's still not scalable, versus we can do all of this in real time to make sure you take the sample from correct place. They still need to do pathology because they need to DNA test. But the catch is we can, with high confidence, take the sample from correct places. This is our system look like. There is an imaging tower. There is a disposable part. We'll plug into it and do the imaging. So the US market for image-guided biopsy is around $785 million. And over the next decade, we're going to increase by 7%. And most of it going through the non-invasive procedure. That's where we are because the complication rate is much, much lower than other methods of doing biopsy. So next year would be a very exciting year for us. So we are gearing up to finalize our design and how they say it in medical device space to freeze the design, submit to the FDA, and start selling. And we actually started to build our own clean room. So a lot of people telling us, oh, you cannot build a clean room in the US. You can if you just change a lot of things in your supply chain and an assembly to bring the cost down with a lot of automation. We're raising our Series A next year. And the team is, not all of the team here, as I said, I'm an optical engineer. My co-founder is just have done medical imaging for a long time. Nick just joined us, our head of business development. We have 2 fantastic mechanical engineers. Together, they have 8 exits in medical device. They know the medical system inside and out, and we have 2 fantastic optical engineers. We build our own software in-house, which is 10,000 times faster than any other commercially available software. We can simulate the entire optics for medical imaging from the moment that image leaving the fiber and coming back to the system. We have a fantastic advisor. Paul Magnin actually was the first one to commercialize optical coherent tomography and for cardiovascular. We have a lot of doctors also, which will be interventional pulmonologists, will be use our device for the application that we're going after. So last round was led by Meta VC, and SOSV was our first investor. Every time we raise money, they give us money. And Sony Innovation Farm Venture fund of Applied Materials also invested. Because we're doing nano optics, Applied Materials is a great partner for us to scale our nano application. Yep. Thank you so much for your time.